Okay, we got some accessories I picked up today. I'm going to wait a few minutes. I'm going to adjust the camera a little bit better, and then I will tell you about what I picked up and where I actually found ammo. Can clean this lens. Okay. First of all, I found this Draco Gear Bag. Very nice, very durable, multiple pockets all the way down it. You got mag pops, ammo pops. You got your you got hidden compartments here on the side with zippers. Well, not hidden, secure compartments. You can actually add things onto your carry case. You got the hookups on each side because this thing turns into a backpack. It's got backpack straps on the back of it. Inside, it's very, very thick. It's got straps that hold the weapon into the case, and it's got a pocket on the end where the buttstock goes and then the muzzle goes on the other end. It's got a big giant pocket up here for you can file paperwork, you can put more magazines and stuff in there, you can do multiple things, put cleaning kits and stuff in here. If you wanted to, you could put like a trauma bag and stuff on there as well. So that is the Draco. It is a Draco Gear 36-inch single gun case tan, item number 12-302TN. So this is the Draco carry bag. Now, I've been trying to find ammo everywhere, and I haven't been able to find ammo. I drove an hour and 15 minutes away to actually go get ammo, and I was able to find some 5.56 rounds for my weapon. Now, I ended up picking up a couple extra P-mags, so I was prepared for the range. The factory P-mag that comes with it is just really nice, coated. You shoot enough rounds through it and the coating really doesn't matter. You can get like a cheap $10 mag and it works just as good, but these are supposed to actually last longer. So I was able to pick up these magazines. This is the factory one that comes with it. You notice there's no sight window on it. The P-mags I picked up actually have a sight window. There's a sight window on here, and there's a yellow marking right here in the window. Or an orange marking. As it travels up and down, it tells you how many rounds are left actually in this. I only loaded each one of these with 20. They can hold 30. So I bought 2 extra P-mags, and then boxes of 9mm for my Glock 45. Ammo right now is, how you doing? Ammo right now is scarce. You cannot find ammo anywhere. And I called up like 10 different gun ranges, and then finally when I found one, it was an hour and 15 minutes away. And because it's in a different county that charges a lot of tax for these, they actually add 5 cents per bullet. So you buy 50 and it's 5 cents per. So each one of these boxes, you're getting taxed an extra 5 cents per bullet that's in the box. Now, my county where I live, that wouldn't have happened. Sophia, how are you? My county where I'm at, that wouldn't have happened. But unfortunately, we don't have that here. My buddy was nice enough last night he said, hey, I've got an Optic for you that will fit right on that. I never even use it. I put it together and I never even use the thing. So this Optic here is by, let me show you, it's pretty nice. It's actually got iron sights built into the top of it with the orange glow in the front. So you can be here and look through, switch it to red dot, blue dot, green dot. You can change each dot through 3 different settings of brightness. Or so you're shooting here, and then something happens, something gets close, you need to adjust. Maybe you don't like the way it's firing and you need to make a quick adjustment. So you're here, and then all of a sudden, boom, you can go right to the top of it, and you got iron sights right on the top. And you can adjust this iron sight up and down to either pitch it more down towards the front of it or drop it back to make it raised. So you can adjust this front sight. This sight is fixed on the front. And then, it's a night sight too, so you can actually use this at night. And then your adjustments for up and down are here, and left and right are here if you need to move the crosshairs inside the sight, the optic. This retails really cheap. Actually, the company is Sniper Precision Optics. One shot, one thrill. And the part number is TS4X32CB. Again, the part number is TS4X32CB. And the brand new price on this thing is $129.99. That's cheap because these optics are between $400 to $600 if you go from like Glock or SIG or somebody like that. They're outrageous. But this company is its own company, and they're fairly reasonable, and the quality of the optic is really, really good. My buddy ended up selling me this for 50 bucks. He said, you know what? I don't use it. I got an ACOG. I don't really need this. You don't have anything for yours yet. So I actually ordered more accessories as well. I ordered a reflex sight for it. So I've got a reflex sight coming. I ordered like an $80 set of iron sights, pretty good quality, really responsive, high load spring. So when you're ready to flip them up, they flip up quick. When you're ready to flip them down, they flip down quick. And it's the sights that actually, if you look at this optic, you see that it's flush with the rail. A lot of the cheap optics sit up and there's a gap, and you don't want that gap. You want it to be as flush to the rail as possible so it stays secure. This one here is flush all the way up against the rail, and that's what I was looking for with this optic. Now, if you get a cheap one, you may see that it sits up too high and it throws everything off. The optic that I like is the one that sits down on the rail, and I can squeeze it in tight and stop it from moving around. Now, the set of iron sights that I got, they're not the best. If you want really, really good high-quality iron sights, you might spend between $200 and $300 for a good high-quality set of iron sights. I just got a basic, good quality, low-profile iron sight to put on this. I want to try the iron sights that I put on here versus the iron sights that come on the optic. And then that will help me bring this actual optic, you know, I think it's called, they call it front sight match. Some people call it front sight match. Some people have other proper names for it. We're just going to call it front sight match. You actually match the optic up to the front sight so you can actually be more accurate with this optic, or you can just adjust this optic however you need to get on target. It's up to you, or you can maneuver the optic that's on it to try to adjust and see what you know how you want your outcome to be. I like the fact that this is only 130 bucks brand new. It's very, very, look, the equipment that comes with it, very nice, good locking, super high quality steel, fits very tight, very close. Once you get it locked in, it's there, it's not going anywhere. It just seems like a really, really, really good setup. So now that I've got the bag, I've got my optic, I ordered a sling for it. The sling comes with these mounting tabs that go through the end of the weapon here. And the other one, I think it's a loop that will end up going through the bottom of this down here, or it hooks in, the one that I got. It hooks into one of the perforated holes. But, you know, I got the sling for it, and the iron sights, and then a reflex sight, so I can do some more quick type shooting, more reaction type shooting instead of just looking through an optic. This optic is adjustable, so you can adjust it in. See how it's pulled in all the way now? Or you can adjust it back out. And it does change the picture quite a bit just with that little bit of travel. I mean, that's a lot of travel. So you can actually, if I was to look across the room, you know, I can read the numbers on a sign that's across the room pretty clear. If I just So I adjusted it in all the way, and those numbers got really, really, really blurry. So it's kind of one of those things you're going to have to pick and choose, you know, how you like to use it. Maybe you won't for close distance stuff that's only, what, I would say that's probably 15, or that's probably 20 feet away. So 10 yards, not right at 10 yards, somewhere in there. You wouldn't even do that. You can probably just come right off of it to your iron sights and just use your iron sights real nice. And then if you got to get further away, you can pop down and go back to your optic. So you can use either. You know, if you want to try two-eye open kind of deal, you can try two-eye open, but you'll have to come up higher on the weapon. You know, a lot of people like to shoot with it in their pocket, and they'll bring it in tight, and they'll hold it so it's not moving around. But if you have to use the iron sights, you have to pop up, and it's almost kind of uncomfortable because now your face is moving up on top of it to fire, and that's where the iron sight is now instead of it being down here. So there's a comfort level there that you might have to get used to, and if you're not used to it, you're gonna have to change your maybe only use the optic only. And if it's something that you're using for close quarter stuff, training, you know, maybe it's some kind of like competition shooting, you won't even need this. You'll just use a set of iron sights, and this won't, you know, you won't really have to worry about this. It's fairly easy to take off and put back. It's just, I apologize about the notifications I have on my Patriot groups. Let me turn the notifications off. All right, everything turned off now. It's just kind of one of those things where this is simple, it's cheap, it's affordable for people. You pop the top off here. This is your up and down adjustment. And then you can see there, this little screw tab right here. It actually has an arrow indicating which way to turn. So say your crosshair is dead center and you're shooting low. You can turn this to the left and it will bring that crosshair up a hair. So turning it to the left will bring that crosshair up a hair, and then you take your next 1, 2, 3 shots and see where you're sitting at. If you need to adjust more, then you bring it to the left some more, and it will bring that crosshair inside that, or it'll bring the reticle inside the optic up. Or you're shooting low and to the left. Well, then you'll bring your crosshair up here, maybe say like a quarter turn and see where you're at. And then take your left and right adjustment here on the side. It says if you're looking at it turning down, like you're going to screw the screw down, you're going to move it to, that's to the left. So if you're shooting low and to the left, you want to bring it up and then move it backwards the opposite way, so to the right, you know. So it's kind of one of those things. Super easy to use. And then here, to move your iron sight, you'll just push it. Come on now. See this here? It's got a tab on the side of it. Oh wait, actually it's got an Allen key in the center. You actually got to loosen the Allen key in the center, and then that's how you move it back and forth. This tab here only You push this little locking tab in and it actually moves the sight to the side. So maybe you can actually move this back iron sight left and right and lock it down. Maybe that's why it's spring loaded. You can probably move it over and then lock it back down. I'll have to read the directions on that. I'll be honest with you, I didn't even read the directions on it. It was so easy to just mount, turn on. It shows all the settings right here. It gives you 1, 2, 3 on red. It gives you 1, 2, 3 on green, and then it gives you 1, 2, 3 on blue. I don't even know if I turned it on if you'd be able to see it. So there's red, and the reticle has, right underneath the crosshair to the right, it has numbers, and it lets you know how to move it. So it's got 4, 7, no, it's got 4 and 8 in there, and then in between is one reticle mark, so it's 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, and then the bottom of it is 10. So you can make your adjustments accordingly. You're probably not going to be able to, well, you can see a little bit right there. It's kind of turned on. You can see the red back in there. Let's see if I change it, what'll happen. There's a different red. It's off. There's blue. Different blue. There's green. No, wait, it went off. So it goes off between each one. Here's green. You can kind of see the green back in there. There it's off. So I got a good deal. I got lucky. You know, a lot of people, it takes them to build a decent AR, you know, $1,400 to $2,000, depending on how much money you want to spend. Now, I've had a lot of comments where people are like, "Oh, you paid $875 for that MA15 and all this other stuff," and I said, "Yeah, I did." Well, I could have bought an AR for $400. Yeah, and you would have bought the bottom of the barrel AR. That's what you get for that price. You know, it's going to be nothing that has extra polished triggers, 0 trigger take up. So here, this trigger, there's like no play in it. A cheap trigger, see how the movement of when it takes to fire this thing here. So you can see there's nothing in it. There's no round in it. It's empty. The trigger take up is like nothing. Right there. And then it fires. It's like it barely even moves. So you want a cheap AR, that's what you're going to pay for. You're going to pay for something that's loose and it's sloppy. This has got an upgraded double polished trigger. It's got a beveled magazine well, so it's faster reload. You can without catching. It's got this nickel plated, I don't know, carbon blah 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 coating on it. So even when there's no oil, it's less apt to jam, and you can keep firing. It's just a really, really nice setup. It's got the lock back here on the charge handle to pull this way, or if you're just lightly pulling it back, it's got a bigger spring in it. I mean, it's a good weapon, or not a bigger spring. It's got a polished end on the spring, not a bigger spring. Some of the regular ARs are not like that. They don't have the special coating. They don't have the double coated barrel with the 2 to 3 inch, or I forget what it is. It's like in the center here, right in here, they taper it. So when it gets hot, it doesn't expand so much. It dissipates heat better, and it actually keeps the round more true rather than swelling, and you lose some of your accuracy on your round. The upgraded P-mags, I love these with the sight window. They're really nice. To basically, let me put it on safe. It's very responsive with how everything There's a round in it right now. It's just this thing is so smooth. It's smoother than any of the other ones that I've used. It's really nice. This thing is really it's probably one of the best beginner ARs, best bang for your buck by far. Now, a lot of people are talking about getting these little small rounds and stuff like that, or these cheap ARs. And don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with a cheap AR. It's protection, it's sport, it's whatever. But you're gonna pay for what you get. You're not gonna get something with a collapsible buttstock. It's gonna be a plain Jane AR, no carbine rail on it. Probably going to be just plain, and you're going to have to add things to it, or it's just going to be plain plating. I like this because I don't have to have the plating over it, and I can still hold it comfortably without these rails, without the carbine rails that go along that end up cutting into your hand. This is a really nice round feel, so you don't have to have the extra cover-up rail pads on it. It's just nice. It just feels real nice. Anyway, that's the update on the MMC Armory MA15 AR-15 weapon that I bought, and this is my first accessory buy for it. Just to recap: precision optics sniper, adjustable optic, a Draco carry bag. This was $80. This brand new is $130. The ammo was outrageous, guys. I bought five boxes of 9mm ammo and 5 boxes of 5.56, and it cost me $180. But I can't really complain about that, to be honest with you, because let's see, about 2.5, 3 months ago, you could buy a bulk box of you could buy a bulk box of 500 9mm ammo, and you could walk out the door for 160, 170 bucks, something like that, right? Well, now those 5 boxes of 50 rounds, I get 250 rounds for 100, 120, 100. So I've lost half of the bulk ammo I could buy because of the demand right now, supply and demand. Right now, those 5 boxes of 9mm ammo, so 250 rounds, plus 5 boxes of 5.56, 20 rounds apiece, 350 rounds for 180. So not bad. I cannot complain about that, considering the situation that we're in with the hysteria in the world and how supply and demand plays a huge factor in everything that's going on. So that's not really that bad. 2 different types of ammo. One of them 250 rounds, the other one 100 rounds for $180. I can't complain about that. I can't complain about that at all. The price of this optic, my buddy sold me for 50 bucks. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I don't mind a bore sighter. I really don't mind a bore sighter at all. It's probably one of the best things since sliced bread. But I like firing a weapon. I just like the sporting aspect of being there live adjusting. And I know that's not the answer all the time, because a bore sighter could save you a lot of time. And maybe I will go ahead and pick one up anyway. I've bought everything else. The new optic, the sling, extra mags are still coming. What else was it? The iron sights. But I'm gonna try to zero this in. I'm gonna try to see if I can run off just this optic alone without having to add all the other stuff on. See how accurate this is, because this has its own iron sight to it. Now I want to see if I can operate off this and see how bad this setup is for iron sights. I know I'm going to have to adjust this back iron sight probably going to have to come back substantially so I can get this back iron sight to come back, and so it will actually slide up, so I can start to meet, so I can start to bring the angle of this back down to meet, or I'm not even sure. We'll have to just see what happens, because this optic is supposed to be able to be used as an iron sight as well. But I'd like to have my iron sight here and out here, so I get that complete level of travel along the whole entire weapon to make sure that this thing is really accurate. When you use something so close together like this, you don't get the full range of everything that's going on, and it's going to be a constant adjustment over and over and over again. And that's what I'm going to have to try to figure out. So far, what I have tied up in this gun is $875 for the MA15, $50 for the Optic, so $925, $80 for the carry bag, so $1,000, 2 extra PMags, just say 1,030, and then the sling. I think I bought the sling for like $27. The Reflex Optic, I bought it for $175, and the 5 boxes of ammo. So I'd say so far about probably somewhere close to about $1,200, $1,250 for something reliable. That's put together and it's set up with some ammo and a couple magazines to go to the range. Now, it's not necessary to do all that. You can buy a couple boxes of ammo and just put a set of iron sights on it, and you don't even need any of this other stuff, other than probably a safe carry bag, or you can even keep the original box and carry it back and forth in the box. But the bag is like a necessity, and I think it's something that you have to be safe with this, to carry it properly. Plus the material and stuff that the bags are made of, it helps really protect this stuff. They're very thick. The layers around the weapon are very thick, so if something gets dropped on it or it gets dropped, it protects the weapon pretty good. So I think a bag, the weapon, some ammo, and iron sights is really all you need for this, to be honest with you. And a good cleaning kit. It doesn't have to be high-end, just something with... okay, so we can touch another subject while we're here too. A lot of people on cleaning chemicals, like you get your die-hard, like I'm a gun this and that, and I know everything about guns and the history of guns, and I could tell you everything about every single weapon out there, how to take it apart, how to put it together, yada yada yada. They don't like people, and they don't recommend people using a lubricant and cleaner in the same one. They're against that. They tell you to buy your cleaner separate from your lubricant because they don't belong together. Find something that cleans the weapon and then come back and lube everything up. Now me, I'm not that guy. I find a good shooter's lube or something like that that cleans and lubricates. I clean the hell out of it, and that's it. I'm done. If I've got to do more work than that, I'm not a gun enthusiast. It's not worth it to me. This is first of all, it's for sporting and it's for home protection. This is not the most fanciest, most valuable gun in the world. So do I care about it like if I picked up an FN Scar or something like that? No, I don't. It's just a weapon. It's a cheap weapon that I'll have probably $1,300 max tied up into, and I'll never put another dime into it again. Or at least I get tired of the stuff that I have and want to go to something like an ACOG or something like a really nice Reflex Sight or something like that, or one of them big, I don't know if they call it not holodecks, but what is it, like a it's called like an FL. No, it's not called an FL. There are scopes that you can spend $800 on for these, $1,000 on for these. You can spend as low as $300 for name brand ones, somewhere around there. But this is kind of like their own off brand. So I'm gonna see how good it is. I wanted to go to the range tonight, but unfortunately everybody's changed their times from 10 o'clock back to 7 now, and it's starting to get into the colder seasons, so people aren't wanting to stay out as long. So they're back to 7 o'clock. So when I get off work, maybe tomorrow, if I have enough time, I'm going to try to run to the range because they should be back on weekdays to 9, 10 o'clock. But on the weekends, I noticed that the times change from 9 and 10 to like 7. Every range that I went to just a little bit ago to see if I can go fire this thing and get some footage tonight, they said they're closed already. So I figured, why not just do a video and talk about what I have tied up in this thing so far, and hopefully people like hearing about this stuff. Again, one of the easiest weapons to tear apart. There's nothing hard about this at all. Zero. It's very, very simple. You got a button back here in the back. You just pull the pin, drops down. You pull the pin in the front. So you take your lower receiver off your upper. Come on. It's still so new, it's kind of dry. So you got your lower out. You can clean all that real good. You can check your double polished trigger and stuff out in this setup. You can go ahead and look at your mag lock and everything, get all clean inside the mag well, really nice. I always like to clean the area back here where the bolt pushes up against the spring. I try to clean that out very well. I know a lot of guys say that doesn't really matter, but that's just something I like to do. And then your charge handle and your bolts at, all you have to do is just pull it out until it stops. Then you can pull your bolt out the rest of the way. This is that really nice nickel-plated double carbon blah, 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 blah to aid in lubricity. Pull your charge handle out. You can clean here as much as you want. You know, you get all in here real nice. Go ahead and I shoot a dab of on the inside here. There's a little rod that comes out and it pushes up against the bolt. And you see the serrations in the side of the bolt. It'll push up in that, and if you get a jam that you can clear, you might be able to tap this thing and it'll go ahead and help force the round into it. So I dropped some lube back on this, what would you call it? I don't even know the proper name for it. But there's a little channel in here. You can drop a dab of lube in there and then actuate this thing back and forth. Try to clean off any excess is what I always do. And then back in here, there's a gas tube in the back of it. That gas tube, I try to clean off around that as much as I can. I try to clean off in the surface right here where the actual round goes through as much as I can. What I like about this is this setup has a channeled, tapered. If this thing is not in the right position, it will not go back in the weapon. Yeah, forward assist. So this here just basically, you can just put it in and you'll feel it drop it. There, it dropped in. You can even go a little bit more and stop. And then if this bolt, the firing pin mechanism in the front is in the wrong area, if it's kind of off to the side, you'll see it won't go in there. It tries to fight it. It won't go in because the little sliding tab is not under the gas tube. It needs to be under the gas tube. So it needs to be like that or else it won't slide back in that channel. See how it's under the gas tube now? So once you get it slid in there, you push it all back together. Slide your front pin in. And that's it. It's pretty much all there is to it. I mean, I could go into more detail and show you how to pull the trigger apart. I could show you how to pull the spring and stuff out of the handle to change it out. You know, there is a stop, like I explained last night, there is a stop back in here. So when you start to, this thing will be sitting in the vise in like a cloth. And when they start to run this handle in there and they thread it back in, that stop will stop this from going in there any further. And that's how you know when you're done. And it does have, this collapsible buttstock does have a lock on it. So whenever right here, it tightened everything up. You know, it's not really that loose. There's a tad bit of play, but not much. Then you start getting all that sloppy playback out of it. So you pull that tab up, and whenever you're ready to maneuver this, it will actually push that tab back down. What I don't like about it is you got to go back and reset it each time. I don't like that. But it is what it is. So that's it. It's pretty easy. I mean, there's, you know, if we, like I touched last night, remember the whole Grandmaster J thing where he was talking about having a live round in the weapon and he just basically bounced it off the ground with one of his guys and they accidentally shot some people. The good thing about MMC Armory's MA15 is it takes a lot to make this bolt charge back forward, and I mean a lot. You have to really beat the hell out of this thing on the ground, not just kneel down and bump it on the ground. It's back right now. You have to beat the hell out of it to get it to go forward. But guess what happened? That chambered around, it did not fire around. Now watch. If it fired around, I should not be able to pull the trigger right now and hear it pop. Listen. It didn't fire the round. So even though that bolt goes forward and chambers that round, it did not fire that round. So that's why a lot of people were laughing at that guy, because that guy's like a joke. He doesn't know what he's talking about. This weapon will not fire a round if that bolt charges forward until that trigger is pulled. Again, you can sit here and tap this thing all you want. You can simulate like you're going to kneel down and it bounces off the ground. It's not going to go off. You have to literally smack the hell out of it like you're really hitting the ground in order for it to go forward. So this guy that was talking about, oh, somebody was just, they were hot and they were exhausted and, you know, they just bounced it off the ground, and no, you didn't. You had your finger on the trigger, and that's how you shot people. You weren't just taking a knee and it bounced off the ground. You have to literally smack the living hell out of this thing in order for that bolt to charge forward in the rear position. So again, know your firearm, know how to pull it apart, know how to clean it, know the type of rifling mil spec, whatever the actual barrel is. This is a 1 in 8 twist. So this does really well with a 55 grain to a 55 to 77 grain round, which I'll probably try to find something in between at 100 yards in a device with something firing this at the same pressure, no extra pull, no nothing. The shot grouping on this weapon is 5 shots in a 3/4 inch spot. That's really good. It's really accurate. This is a very, very accurate weapon. So that's it, guys. That's all I got. Just wanted to show you kind of what I've done. In the next video, I'm actually going to have the iron sights on, and we're going to go to the range. I'm going to go fire this thing at the range, and I'll have some video footage at the range for you, just to show you with no adjustments right out the box how everything is, and then adjusting it, how accurate it is. Thank you for tuning in, being here. If you guys want me to do more stuff like this, I'd be more than glad to. If you don't really care about stuff like this, too bad. I'm going to do it anyway. If you have any other ideas, maybe another weapon or something like that you'd like to see, I can look into seeing how much it would cost to buy it. I thought about getting an AR shotgun. They have an AR body 12 gauge shotgun, and it's only $4.99 or $5.99. I'm thinking about getting it. It looks just like this, except it's a 12 gauge shotgun, AR-15 basically. that's it. I appreciate you. I'm gonna get off of here, relax for the rest of the night, and just fortunate to be in a position I am in my life where everything crazy is going on, that I could afford to do stuff like this and have a little bit of extra money put away so I can do these types of videos and show other people, you know, basically how I'm going along doing it as well. So take care, guys. Be blessed. I love you all.